Hello, good evening, everybody. I have the beautiful Corianne here with us tonight and Benson. How are you guys?
Am
Oh,
I
so
not
good.
beautiful, or you're not gonna
You
even call me handsome or anything? Come
and
on.
most handsome Benson Juarez with
Oh,
us.
thank you. You warm my heart. My mom always used to say I was handsome.
You are, Benson, you are.
Yes. What's going on, everybody? Hope
Yeah,
everyone's having a
how's it
great
going?
day.
Yes. This time, I'm gonna actually be able to figure out how to watch the comments.
Yes. Yes, okay, so when I emailed out the reminder, I told everyone drop what market you want us to go in the chat, and I see some markets over here. We got Tampa, Florida, St. Louis, Missouri, we got Atlanta, Georgia. Oh wow, North Korea. That's a fun one. Benson, does privy cover North Korea?
I don't know. I would bet against it, actually. If I was a betting man, I'd say no.
Right?
When
Indianapolis,
when I told
Tucson.
you I would go anywhere, I meant English speaking anywhere.
Any English speaking, okay.
It'd be a
Yeah,
troublesome.
let's throw her in the Korean market and see what she can do.
That would be awesome.
Well, Corianne, how have you been since we saw you last? How's business and deal flow going? Let's hear where you're at.
It's going really well. So, ranch wise, I'm like, it's spring, so I'm very happy and I'm doing the absolute best I can to take as many calls outside as possible, which is awesome. I had a closing with my team yesterday in Florida, which was fantastic.
Congrats.
Woo! Thank you.
What's
Um,
the
and
what's the deal details on that? Was it a wholesale deal? Is it how'd the numbers work out?
Man, I gotta get better on like having these on in the back burner because I always am just like, it's a sign, we're good. And then deal with title and get it through. But the numbers roughly, man, we got it under contract and made pretty quick. I want to say 13,000 because we assigned it the next day.
Ooh, nice.
Um, so yeah, it was so quick, and it was also with a buyer that we were like really excited to work with that I don't even remember the assignment fee. And I think a part of that is because then it gets also broken down into my team. So,
Right.
when my check gets cut, I'll know exactly what it was. But anytime it's a smooth, oh, we got the HUD and it's done, I'm a very happy person. So now
Oh
we're on the
yeah.
hunt for the next one.
Very cool. That's exciting. Congrats.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So
And
you got a
Corianne,
team.
sorry, Benson, I just wanted to ask what all markets are you in again?
So I'm in Colorado, Nevada, and Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, I
How
like
did you
all
choose those markets?
They chose me. So Colorado was the very first one, and that's because I live here and I love
Hmm.
Colorado, and I also got licensed here. So that was a big part of it. Um, and then Florida definitely chose me because I had two partners that were already working in Florida, and they were like, "Hey, you're kind of low on calls today in Colorado. Like, come call in Florida." And I liked it. It was super fun. Definitely different agent vibes in general. They speak a different language, so it's really fun for me to wake up. Like, it doesn't matter whether Colorado's ready for calls because Florida is. I knock out anything new in Florida and then I jump over to Colorado. In Nevada, I have a really great acquisitions director. Shout out Austin, who I don't do anything in Nevada except answer any questions he has. Luckily,
Nice. That's amazing. That is so awesome. Guys, in the chat, we wanted to ask you guys, and we'll kind of go from there, but we want to know, do you guys want to see agent calls tonight, or do you want to see Corianne call buyers? What are you guys feeling? What do you guys need, and how can we help you? Let us know over in the chat. Um, Benson, also, we're Corianne and I were speaking before. We're open to jumping in a new market. Like let's feel it out and see what we got tonight.
Yeah, well, we could look at some investor activity. Colorado's getting better investor activity wise inside of Privy. Um, But the market's shifting, right? And that's the cool part about leveraging privy is that like you always have your finger on the pulse of what's going on. So you can track like, okay, like 6 months ago, maybe Dallas was the hottest area. But now, maybe it's shifted. And actually I've seen some shifts in like which neighborhoods in certain markets. Before in things like Dallas Fort Worth, I was just doing a demo. Like the area that's northeast of Dallas had the most investor activity between Dallas and Garland. But it's shifted now. It's southwest Dallas is hot. And we all know how important it is that you're targeting areas that have high investor activity. So if you're in an area that has high investor activity and you're thinking it's another neighborhood, but it's actually a different one, that could
Mhm.
affect, the amount of data you have to be able to, assemble your deal. Like those fix and flip houses are so valuable when you're wholesaling. And I'm sure your buyers love that, Corianne, right? Like when you go and you're marketing a deal, you're like,
Mm.
yeah, here's all the fix and flips down the street that happen. Like the deal kind of sells itself, right?
I'm glad you brought this up because the deal that we assigned on the next day, my buyer came back and said, "Hey, here's the number I can do." And I went, "Did you see this comp?" Which I got off Privy. And he was like, "No," pulled it back up and then hit my number. I didn't drop for him. So that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have Privy to basically go, I see what you're saying, but I don't know if you've got the right numbers. Like, did you see this comp? And that changed the whole game.
Right. And so it was a fix and flip comp, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I love about the investor activity guys is you're basically thinking several steps down the line and you're putting yourself in the best position to have a situation like Corianne had where she doesn't have to haggle with her buyer because she was targeting an area that she knew had that investor activity in it. So when she finds a deal, that everything kind of just comes together. And when she goes to market it, then her buyers are not beating her up on the value or her assignment fee or all the other things that where they can try to chop you down or just not reply at all because she was very intentional about where she's looking for deals, right?
Right.
So that's awesome.
Thanks.
Well, should I drive the ship? Do you want to look at a couple of areas?
I beg of you to drive the ship. What I learned last time is that I'm not very good at both looking at Privy and talking.
Oh,
Not really
Benson,
well,
take
but
the wheel.
please.
Latoya.
if she begs of me, then I will.
Oh, beautiful Benson, please.
I think I've only ever
Latoya,
heard that in like a movie. I beg of you. It's like a
I
Sherlock
beg
Holmes
of you.
movie or something.
Oh no. Quick thought for Latoya though on the beating yourself up while speaking to agents. So the nervousness that like comes through in the voice, I know it very well. I have it like right before I get on this call, like anytime I know I'm going live. So one of the best things to do is to have that call while moving. And I know that's like very difficult to kind of think of. You're like, hey, I'm like new to agent calls. I don't need to be moving at the same time. But even if you're standing up and just like wiggling your hips while you're looking at your computer and talking, that energy, instead of sounding nervous, it sounds like I'm a busy freaking person and I'm doing stuff,
Yeah.
and that energy is what they want to hear on the other side. So just move some part of you to put that energy elsewhere.
Oh, that's great advice. That is really good advice. So should you not drink a lot of coffee before a call or like be all amped up?
Probably. I can't be the person that says don't drink a lot of coffee because I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely something that helps me is to like wiggle, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are your
but
calls scripted? Do you have like a script that you do, or is it more like free flowing?
I am very free flowing. In fact, she she just asked me for like, what are the things that you think about before you're calling an agent? And I was like, oh, I rarely am thinking about having those things lined up before I'm having the conversation with the agent because the chances of that the thing being a deal is probably less than the chances of this agent falling in love with me and bringing me a deal like later. So
Right.
I'm very off the cuff and I didn't start that way, and because I didn't start that way, I definitely stumbled. Like I thought I needed to know exactly what to say, but come to find out, not knowing what to say and being a real human being worked out way better.
I love it. So the goal for you more is about building rapport and trust and like like you said, being like a cool person they want to work with more than like closing that for that deal you're calling on.
That one deal. Yeah. If I'm focused only on that deal and not on, hey, how can we have a relationship and how can I make you money moving forward over the next year? Yeah, the conversation's shorter. It doesn't bring as much like life. And I think sometimes then that deal, I cut it off. Like that deal even could be better, but now that agent is working with me on the same side and I get to utilize their knowledge instead of me like forcing them into what knowledge I have on that particular property.
I love it. Anything to add, Emily, before I kind of jump in here?
No, I loved everything that you guys just did right there. Lots of value. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the chat's blowing up right now. I can't see it right now, so any questions
Yes.
come up, feel free to stop me. But I wanted to kind of just set the stage for people who maybe aren't familiar with Privy or just want a little bit more education on what it is we're looking at right here. So this is the coverage map. It shows us like where the data sources come from. And earlier when we were talking about investor activity, that's one of the major criteria that you want to use when you're trying to determine which market to target. One of the things I think you should also consider is the data direct from MLS. And that is important because when you're running comps and you're trying to determine the value of a house as is, but also the after repair value, you want to make sure that the data is timely and it's relevant. And if you are in an area where you don't have direct to MLS, then it's going to be dated, and that isn't a privy thing. That's anyone who has data thing. So like if you are using like one of our great competitors like PropStream, then the data that you're going to find there is going to be all this either public record data or county record or third party MLS data, not direct. And so when you're running comps, you're analyzing properties, you're searching for deals, it's going to be a challenge, which is why we decided we wanted to really raise the bar on the quality and the relevance of the data by targeting and going direct to MLS. And so the first market we ever got, Corianne, was RE Colorado. 10 years ago, we got the very first RETS feed out of anybody was in Colorado.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And now the data is all is different than it was served then. But RE Colorado was the first one. Now we're in over 90 markets. Wherever you see blue, and the red ones are the ones that are coming soon. So those are the ones that our compliance team are working on, that they're either negotiating or we're normalizing the data or getting it ready to launch. So number one, there's three boxes. This is my opinion. I would love to get your guys' opinion on this. The most important thing is you want to be in a high investor activity area. The other thing you might want to try to do is have direct to MLS data. So you've got great photos and timeliness and all of the agent and contact information. And the last thing is you live there, right? Like Corianne is targeting Colorado because she lives here, but she figured out, well, I can also do Nevada and I can also do Florida. I don't have to be there physically, and neither do you. And if you happen to be in a bad area that doesn't have high investor activity, I would actually highly suggest that you do target a remote market because it's going to increase the chances of your success. So how do you find those areas? Well, right here at the top, we've got some easy buttons. The one you're going to want to use is this one that says fix and flip. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to fix and flip yourself, but typically you guys, when we measure how good a deal is, we say, oh, I got it at 60% of the ARV or 50% of the ARV. ARV means after repair value. And you literally cannot prove after repair value on a property that you're running comps on unless you have a renovated house. And this is what happened to Corianne in that last deal she closed, is she had that one golden comp that she was able to win over her buyer with that was flipped, that proved value. And she didn't even need a bunch of them. She just needed that one. Like, how powerful is that she was able to convince that buyer to not beat her up on price or her assignment fee because she was targeting the right areas. So it's these blue ones here. Now, some of them are just obvious. Like, you don't want to be looking for deals in Hayes, Kansas. Like, if you live in Hayes or Colby or Goodland or Oakley, like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have a really hard time. Could you stumble into a deal? Maybe. Can you build a replicatable process, a systematic approach to getting consistent deal flow that's predictable? No, you will not be able to. So if your goal is to just do one deal, then yeah, maybe look in one of these low investor activity areas. But I guarantee if you guys are here from the Astro community, you've got bigger goals, right? You got financial goals you want to hit. So do not spend your hard-earned time and money in an area where you're not going to be able to reach your goal. Thinking down the line. Where do I want to end up? How many deals do I want to do? Do I want to do 50 deals? Well, you're sure as heck not going to be able to do that in Elabean or Sabina, right? Because no one's done that many. And you have to split those with them, right? So you want to target these other high investor activity areas like Kansas City. I chose St. Louis. That's the market that I chose. Some of the other ones that are good are Indianapolis and Chicago. A lot of Midwest markets are good. Which, Corianne, you're not in the Midwest at all. Like you actually chose Nevada. And where in Florida are you at?
Mostly central. That is changing. And again, like then cultures change. But for the most part, St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater, Orlando, central.
Yeah, that's where the data says to go.
But my next market, when I open another one, it is going to be in the Midwest, because right now there's some really great markets over there. And they're at just the right speed right now, where, for example, Nevada and Colorado are going to move slower just based off what's happening in the market. Florida's moving much faster. And I like having two of those, but it would be really great to be in the Midwest, where right now it's just like very steady.
Which markets are you considering?
I am considering Illinois and Chicago because I love Chicago. I went to school there, and I could easily get my license because it's just one more test for me.
Right.
And that's the entryway that you need in Illinois. But I've got some team members that are thinking about Indiana, Ohio, St. Louis.
Gotcha.
It's all up in the air. We'll probably draw straws as to who gets to pick the next one.
Wow. Well, those are all good markets. Just from like a numbers perspective, Chicago has more activity than all of them. 3,700. St. Louis is 2,000. Indianapolis is a little bit better than that. And then if you're going to look in Ohio, the Cleveland, Akron area has a good amount too. So that's better than Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, any of those. So Cleveland would probably be the top market you'd want to consider in Ohio, just from a data perspective.
And
then
do you know that because you know that, or can you see that right now? Like
I can see it with the data. So right here, so see these numbers right here?
Uh-huh.
So there's 3,700 deals in the greater Chicagoland area, 2,100 in Indianapolis, 2,000 in St. Louis. And then here's the combination of Cleveland and Akron.
Okay, I can see that now. And see that now immediately informs what I bring back to my team, because I know that they want Cincinnati. But now I've got data to prove why Cincinnati might not be as exciting as Cleveland, because money is going to win the battle.
It will. And we don't, and not that Privy is the only way to do deals, but we don't have direct to MLS in Cincinnati yet. But we do have it here in the Cleveland market. So that, you don't have to go and get licensed there right away, because we've got direct to MLS data there. And in Ohio, you don't have to be licensed to wholesale.
Yeah, that is true. And that's why you just got to know every market, because there's like one or two loopholes or things to jump through in each one. But that is actually important to me. Like if Privy is not there and connected to the MLS, it is not a market I'm going to go to. And that's because I have access to RE Colorado. I'm a part of that MLS. I get most of my data off Privy.
It's off Privy?
Yeah. Most of my data off Privy. The only time I'm like actually going into the MLS to pull comps like a regular agent is if I need to actually check their data and what they have access to, or to access the national NAR RPR, because you'll hear agents say AVM all the time. They'll be like, oh yeah, the AVM is this. And it is like a Zillow number that any agent can pull up off of NAR. So I always like to be like, oh yeah, you got that from NAR, huh? Because it takes them like no effort.
Right.
So anyway, if somebody's saying, oh yeah, the AVM is this very quickly, they haven't done their data research, and I can probably show them comps to prove else.
Oh yeah. Well, if you do decide to go to Chicago, um, obviously Chicagoland's huge. The majority of the investor activity is in South Side Chicago. So right here in Roseland,
Oh
right
yeah.
in here, is
Mhm.
where you're going to see the majority of the activity.
Mhm.
Um, and just amazing prices. Like in lots, you can get lots of on-market deals there too. So you won't have to
Mhm.
spend a bunch of money marketing, but you can just see some of these prices. Like no one would ever think that you would have almost a $300,000 house in Southside Chicago. But because there's so much investor activity there and the gentrification is happening, you're really seeing these prices move up. And then now it's that snowball effect. You got more fix and flip. Now there's more deals, right?
Mhm.
And so this one right here is an example of an on-market deal. Check out these numbers. They got it for 33,000 on market, sold it for 189.
And Chicago specifically, I actually used to live kind of close to this area, not quite all the way up into the hundreds. Something to utilize if you're in a larger metro like this, where you're seeing this activity, is to do spotcrime.com and overlay those maps almost, because I know for a fact in this area, it's a block to block situation. And you can see that in Privy. And then sometimes I'll see it in Privy, overlay spot crime and go, oh yeah, no investor activity over here. 3 shootings or whatever might be happening in the
Right.
crime radius.
Yeah, Juan said Southside has tons of violence.
Yeah, depending on the
Yep,
areas. My
it
husband
does.
taught down there, so I got to watch him come home with lots of stories.
Yeah, one of the things about wholesaling though is that you guys like crime, and this is just my opinion, you guys can have a totally different opinion, isn't as important if you're wholesaling because it's the people that are moving there that have to make a decision on whether or not they want to live in that crime area. And this right here shows that people don't mind it.
Yeah.
Every one of these is a fix and flip that somebody bought, and they didn't mind to live in there. And you better believe they know that this is an area like that. But
Mhm.
they have to weigh their options, right? Because once you get away from an area like this, prices start to shoot up. You get closer, you get to the city. Now you're
Mhm.
getting close to 400,000, $500,000 homes. Whereas down here, this is like entry level. This is where you can get an FHA loan, first time home buyers, new families. You're gonna have a much larger buyer pool down here too.
And without going to spot crime, I can already see West Roseland. See that there's a park, a square park right there, and no activity around it.
Right.
That's like immediate tell for me. If it's on those blocks, there's probably a specific reason why, and it's not yet in range. But you can already tell off Privy. So cool.
It is crazy. So
I'm
you
a
guys, so
fan.
you don't have to live in Chicago to do deals here. Now you're gonna have to get creative about how you close, right? Because you can't do lots of assignments. So you either have to get licensed, you can double close, or you can use like a LLC transfer or a land trust. But you can find amazing deals like this one. Can you just imagine if you had found this deal first, 17% of the ARV? You didn't have to spend a single dollar on marketing. You didn't have to cold call. You didn't have to skip trace. You didn't have to knock on somebody's door and go and sit at someone's kitchen table and have an uncomfortable conversation about them losing their house. This is just writing an offer.
Yeah.
17%. That's a unicorn deal.
Yes, it is.
Here's another one. And it's probably a mixture of both on market and off, but this one wasn't another on market, not nearly as good as, but it's still 42%.
Do you want to go back to the last one or this one and see if we can find the buyer and call them? See if they're buying in the area?
Oh, yeah. Now it is almost 7 there in Chicago, but that may or may not matter.
You can see how I react when I get cursed at. I'm just kidding.
I don't know, I feel like maybe buyers will be a little bit more flexible than agents.
I have had conversations with buyers at like 8 p.m. while they're working on whatever flip, and they do
Right?
not mind. Like they're drilling while having conversations.
Oh, I love it. Well, they're hustlers, right?
Yeah, they are.
Right? Also, some of these buyers, they never stop.
So we can call this. So the one that got the one for 17% was Pacheco Quality Remodeling. So I'm going to do a quick Google search. Do you want to pause the share for a moment?
Yeah, I'll take it down.
And we just do this, you guys, because of YouTube doesn't want us to show content information while we're streaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Corianne, he'll throw it in our private chat over here in StreamYard on the right. Yeah, little private chat. No, guys, while Benson gets that info, I just wanted to let you know that our code DAMG5 for 30% off the annual is going to be gone here soon. So if you want to take advantage of that and get this amazing tool where you can find all these hot leads, do your market research, find buyers, have comps that a lot of people don't have access to, I would definitely recommend getting that account and doing it while the 30% is still there.
Oh, yeah. Good point. So I found, so you guys, when you're doing a search like this, and I'll talk you through this. When you do a Google search for a company, it's going to show up on a couple different places, usually like Open Corporates or Dun & Bradstreet. We did find Pacheco Quality Remodeling in Dun & Bradstreet, but the number's not showing there. But let's see if I can find this. Pacheco Contracting, that's not the correct one.
While you're doing that, I'm going to mute myself and take off my camera, blow my nose, so I'm hopefully not sniffling on the phone.
Okay, we'll be here.
Okay, Pacheco Quality, here's a number. This showed up on a website called Manta.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Joshua asked, how do you know if it was an off-market deal on Privy?
When you look at the before picture, on the before side, it'll show either an MLS ID or it won't. It'll show it'll say public record. If it has an MLS ID, then you know it came from the MLS. Okay. So let me give you this private chat right here. Here's the phone number. I don't know for sure how accurate this is, but
cool.
There's that number.
Can you pull back up the address so I can like look at the property?
Yes.
Thank you. Shuffle. 773.
Abdullah, 30% off is the largest discount. And then after that, Benson said what? The largest would be 15%, right? After everything changes?
That's what the marketing team is telling me.
Okay.
Emily, do you have something on your end stopped, or do I have to represent?
Oh no, if you just pull up Privy, I'll bring your screen back up.
Okay,
I got
cool.
it backstage. Here we go.
The power.
All right.
Okay, thank you. And they bought it for 33,000.
33,000, sold it for 189.
When did they sell?
Well, they sold 523 yesterday.
Oh,
Oh wow. So
I
that
closed yesterday too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Jamil always says once they sell, they're ready for their next.
Mm-hmm.
Your call has been forwarded. Message system 7737733. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, this is Corianne. I am an investor in the Chicagoland area, and I saw this property 340 West 109th Place, and it looks like a screaming deal and the coolest flip, and I think it might have been you. So I'm fangirling and hoping to connect and see if you're looking for another property or how I can get to know you better. Give me a call or text anytime. Looking forward to it.
So good. So natural. So you
Oh
guys,
yeah.
you just flows. I love it. Get to know you better. That's a nice one.
Fangirling. That was the key, like wording right there. Like that's going to make them call back.
It
I'm,
is because they know that I'm just here to just enjoy talking about this property. But in
yeah.
enjoying talking about it, I will learn exactly what they're doing. And that's the best part.
So what if, so one of the things that Jamil likes to do too is talk to the agents, right? So what's your approach if you can't talk directly? Well, actually, this is a good question. It sounds like you prefer to talk with the buyer rather than the agent that represented the buyer.
I do, yes. And that is where having a license, even if it's in a different state, where sometimes an agent will kind of close up, is because they're protective of their clients. And I like to respect that. It's also like something that often you have to explain before even getting to the conversation is, hey, I know you did this and I saw this and I need this information. And then they're going to ask, well, why do you need that information? And for the most part, I get agents that are just not excited to share that info with me.
Right.
And maybe that's my approach, but I'd much rather call a number that's not the buyer than end up kind of like trying to figure out an agent's game with an investor.
Gotcha. So what information are you asking of them that they're closed up for? Like you're not trying to get the contact info for the buyer, are you?
For the most part, yeah. I'm like, hey, are they purchasing more properties? Are you representing them when you purchase? Are you only representing when you're listing? Because that'll tell me whether or not they're going to share the number.
Interesting.
I'm willing to just try though. Should we call this agent and learn
Well,
more?
I have a recommendation. Like, so
Please.
I talk with a lot of people who are doing this strategy, and they don't ask for the contact info. They intentionally try to make the agent feel like it's going to be a win-win. Like, I can find
Mhm.
properties for you and your client. I'm happy to send you in, get you involved in the transaction. We'll work it in. You would typically make a commission, but I can, share my assignment fee with you, and we can, work out the details. But it's all about like looping them into the whole process and intentionally not asking for contact info.
I like that. And I have agents that I work with in that capacity. I just didn't call them from that angle.
Yeah.
So I really like it.
Well, let's try this. Let's try the agent on this one.
Let's do it.
Um,
Beauty of it is if I fall in my face, we all get to learn together.
yes. So I'm going to do a quick Google search for this one, Emily.
Okay, I took you down.
So it's Pablo Galarza. And he's with Remax. And
Somebody, Facebook user said, I'd love to see you call on an on-market property in Los Angeles.
Cool.
Cool.
all right. So there's the phone number for Pablo.
And can you tell on that back end if he sold or whether he purchased and sold? I don't know if I only get that info because I am licensed or whether that's something that shows up for everybody.
I don't know if he purchased the property for them, but I do know that he was the seller, or he listed it for the flipper.
Pablo. Cool. Let me spell it correctly. And asking the chat, are the voicemails helpful? Do you want to hear me leave voicemails or should I just hang up so we can keep moving?
Oh, I thought it was very helpful.
Helpful, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 77336707888 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Pablo, this is Corianne. I'm an investor here in the Chicagoland area, and I was checking out 340 West 109th Place. Looks like you guys closed on it yesterday. Congratulations. I would love to know a little bit more about how you work with investors, specifically this investor, and see if we could work together. I'd love a call or text back. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
That's okay. I don't
And
think it'll flag if it just plays the voicemail.
okay, good. I'm sorry. I'll work on it.
No, you're totally fine. What were you saying though?
That he texted me.
Oh, there you
So
go.
that's fantastic. Said, sorry, tied up at the moment. Can I call you back? Of course. Probably tied up in the fact that it's late, but that's okay.
Maybe wrapping up dinner.
Yeah. Having a life? What are you doing, Pablo?
What's up?
Should we go to Los Angeles?
Sure, let's do that. Let's just type in the search bar, you guys. You can go to any city you want. You just type it in, and it'll take that same search we just had, and it'll just redo it in the exact same area that you just searched. But now, when you type in a city, it's going to look within the city limits. So you can see here it's got this little boundary here, and it isn't, outside of that. So like if we wanted Huntington Park or we wanted to see Compton, like we wouldn't see it because we have to adjust the filter. So in the upper left-hand corner where it says Los Angeles, you're going to click the checkbox that says include surrounding areas. And now it's everywhere around Los Angeles. But the highest investor activity area in LA is right in here. So right in here, 44. So this is an area that you guys might be familiar with. So if you watch any football, SoFi Stadium is right in here. USC is right in this area. And there's a lot of gentrification going on here, but a lot that contributes to this investor activity, these numbers. But if we zoom in a little bit here, let's go in and we'll see, what's going on specifically. Let's look at this here. We'll get close enough and this will break up. And then obviously you're going to see a huge jump in the numbers. But, still properties that you can get a decent amount. Like this one right here closed yesterday, sold for $565,000. And this report, you guys, is called a live comparative market analysis. So Privy is actually going in and pulling comps on every single house for you, so you don't have to be a comping expert. So the comping algorithm will do that. So it puts all this information in one place. And Corianne, I'm actually, from an agent perspective, like, what do you like about the CMA compared to like what you see in the MLS?
How like active it is. So when I'm working in MLS, it's a little outdated and just the way of working on it. I have to put in all of the stipulations as to what makes a comp before I even see what's sold in the area. And I don't like doing that because here I know I can go to everything active in the area and see generally what's happening. And I think that gives me a better picture, better negotiation standpoint every single time than my other agents that are on the MLS. Because for example, and this one throws them for the loop every single time, when they give me an ARV that's like 560. And I go, well, what about these two actives that are 550 fully flipped that have been sitting on market for 30 days around the block? They didn't see them. They weren't thinking about actives. They were trying to prove to me that there was something sold positively that was comped, and often they're willing to pull from 6 months ago. But I have the most accurate information that right now something can't sell for 550.
Right. That's true. That's that negative data that can bite you in the butt. So you're going to see everything from all different angles. But this house right here, this was an on-market deal. They bought it for $372, sold it for $565. But we can see here in these higher priced areas, like buyers are willing to go a lot higher percentage of ARV wise than they will in those lower priced areas. So you'll see numbers 66 in LA, you'll see up to 75, even close to 80% if you in the $1 million range. but this one's in that $500,000 range, and this buyer was willing to go up to 66%. So let's see who this flipper was. This was, this would be hard to find, so we won't look for this one. They named the LLC the same as the property address. This is a professional flipper that doesn't want to be found.
Mac P said you can see what's not selling with Zillow, and that's 100% true. But now you got to go to 2 different places to see whether it's sold or not sold. And most people are not doing that work. You can. And that's great, but I'd much rather have it all in one spot, especially with the amount of properties I'm looking at on any given day.
Yep. Here's this one. This was 3726 Olmsted Avenue, another on-market deal. They got it for $950, sold it for $1.6 million. The renovation came out amazing. I love this. It's got kind of like a, what is that? Like a not throwback, but it gives it like a 1970s feel to it, but modern.
Yeah, I love that.
Really
I'm
like that one.
I'm really into like wood right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just saw my Los Angeles baddie comment. Shout out to Renee. She's who I go to when I get deals in Los Angeles, since I don't know Renee at all. Like, I don't know Los Angeles at all, but I know Renee really well, so I take it to her.
We're actually having Renee on in a couple weeks.
Oh, you lucky duckies.
Cool.
You will learn so much.
So the flipper on this one was Simply Buy LLC.
Okay, I'm gonna pull your screen down.
Was it Simply or Simple?
Oh, Simple Buy. Good catch. Simple Buy LLC.
And do you just go through like a Google process? Is that how you find?
Yeah, I just highlight the name and then I right click it and then I click search Google.
I go to, this works pretty well for me. I go to Open Corporates and I look for that name in that state. Then I click on it and there's always an agent name. And then I take that agent name, and by agent of a business, they mean whoever's running it, basically. You take that over to True People Search, and that's how I get most of my business numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. When I do that search, it typically Open Corporates is usually the one of the first listings that pops up.
Nice, okay.
And then sometimes Dun & Bradstreet, but sometimes like a website or a Facebook group. So that's why I like to do the Google search, because sometimes you'll just get their website right away, and then you can just call them right from there.
Oh, yeah.
This one did come up with Open Corporates. So then you just click right into it without having to go in and type it in and then search the area, because it automatically does it. And it looks like the agent on this one is Ryan Elmore. And Ryan Elmore lives in Long Beach. So I am going to go to True People Search. So you guys, True People Search is a free skip tracing service. You don't upload lists or anything. It's all on a one-off basis, but it's free and it's fairly accurate. Have you found that, Corianne?
Which one did you just say? Was it True People or was it a different one?
True People Search.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I was scrolling the comments, having a blast. Yeah. True People Search. I rarely ever get the wrong person. And when I do, I say, I'm so sorry. And I hope you have a fabulous day. Normally the best call they got.
So I'm going to do Ryan Elmore in there, and I got a few of them. Arizona, North Highlands, California, Orange, California. So we'll look at those.
Yeah, guys, and I dropped our phone number in the chat. If you text buyer here, I'll shoot you a video on how we do this process if you want to visually see it as well.
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't know. I don't know when this happened, but before they would just show some numbers. Now they're actually showing the type and the last reported call.
Hey.
Oh, in True People Search?
In True People Search.
Huh.
That was something that you would get, like if you ran it through like, a skip tracing company, you would have a couple columns that did that. But now they're showing that in True People Search. That's newer. I don't know when they started doing this though.
Uh, Tony said, I have used True People Search and ended up calling the owner's ex-wife. Oh no.
I'm so curious. Did you turn it around into a good call, or did you get cursed off?
Yeah, you got to give us how it went, Tony. I'm really curious.
Oh yeah. Here's one. I found one that looks decent. So let me grab this for you and I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, let's try this call and then let's move on to some listings so we can get some agent calls in, because I know in the beginning there was a lot of people wanting to see agent calls. Yeah.
I saw that too. And I like agent
This is
calls.
Ryan Elmore.
Elmore? Will you pull back up the property?
Mm-hmm.
I messaged somebody this the other day. They were asking me about a property that I had, like, it had already been assigned. And he was like, yeah, so what was the spread on that one? And I had the same problem I did with you in the beginning of this call. I was like, if it's not in front of me right now, I don't remember the address. I don't remember the spread. And maybe that's a gift or a curse. I'm not sure which.
Oh, it's a gift. Glass half full.
Thank you, Benson. Okay, I like that a lot.
I'm actually really obsessed with that house. It's gorgeous.
Are you getting some design ideas for your new house?
Yes, 100%.
Ooh.
Totally gonna take my rental and make it look like this, Benson.
Yeah, write that down, or actually I can share it with you. Let me send you this.
I'll
send that to you.
just start manifesting that for my future house.
Oh yeah, I love it too.
I like it.
Oh, the word I was thinking of earlier is retro. It's got like a retro feel to it. This wall especially.
Thank you for calling. You've reached the voicemail with Ryan Elmore. I'm unavailable at the moment, so please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible. Have a great day. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Ryan. My name is Corey Ann. I'm a fellow investor here in the Los Angeles area, and I am fawning over this amazing flip you did, the 3726 Olmsted Ave. I would love to know more about this property, what you did with it and your experience, and if you're looking for more in the area. Give me a call or text back whenever works for you. I'm looking forward to it, Ryan. Thanks so much.
Nice. All right, so let's see if we can find a property that we can write an offer on over here. So again, you guys, the reverse REI strategy, what we're doing right now is we're looking at the high investor activity areas. We're using the closed deals to educate us on what a deal is, so we understand the numbers. We know what people are buying properties for. We know what they're selling them for. We can see the percentage of ARV. That way, when we find another opportunity that's unrenovated, we can say, oh, well, that house is kind of like this one on Olmsted. They got it at 67% of the ARV. So all I have to do, 57%, is get it lower than 57%, and Ryan Olmsted would be interested in it. So we know kind of what Ryan is looking for because we're looking at a house that's evidence of what his buy box is. Will he go higher than this? Possibly. Will he go lower than it? Of course. But this here is information that you have at your disposal that you wouldn't have if you were just doing things the old-fashioned way. So leverage the data here to really up your game, be more educated, more up to speed on what's happening in the market. And you can use this information here also to bridge that gap in those conversations you're having with your buyers, where suddenly you're not just some random person calling them. You're someone who's calling them. It's fangirling over their renovation, and you're giving them, some props, and you're giving them info about like the house and the price and the area, And all of that does, it elevates you in the mind of a potential buyer, that you're somebody they want to work with. You've done your research, right? You know information about them. You're giving them, some props and some compliments, and that all goes a really long way. So do that, and you can literally do this anywhere, right? Like Corian's in Colorado, right? She's gonna literally, she could be building a business out here virtually, all by just leveraging the data that's right here inside of Privy.
Yes,
So
sir.
So let's go ahead and trigger this. So once you click that fix and flip button, that's going to plot on the map these. And then what happens is this button right here shows up. Find similar active deals. Now this is proprietary to Privy. The MLS doesn't have anything like this. But because we've got the raw data, we can actually leverage our comping algorithm that will go and search for opportunities that we can buy. So I click that one button, and now Privy went in and it just pulled comps on everything in this area. And here's a house right here that we flagged as a potential deal. It's
Okay,
not,
real quick, can we just talk about how cool that is? Because somebody in the comments had said something like, prove it to me. And that one move should prove it to you. Like, because you can say, hey, this is a busy area. What's for sale in this area? Boom, boom. It's so great.
So elaborate more, because like there might be people in the room that don't know what they don't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how people are. That's how we all are. Until we know something, we don't. How hard would it be to find a property like this that could be at a discount if you were doing this without Privy?
So I think I could contextualize it as it's one Privy tab and it's about 5 Zillow tabs. For me personally, because we're not only dealing with like pulling up the main property, but then I have to have the comps on a different tab. And then I probably want the map open so that I can see what's happening in the area. And I want to see what's happening in the area and actives, solds, and my current properties. So yeah, I'm somewhere between like 4 to 5 tabs on a good day. And that's assuming I'm not feeling frazzled and going straight up to 8 or 10.
Right. And not to mention the amount of time that it takes, right, to go in and pull comparables and analyze it, and actually like understanding what a deal is, and all of that takes a considerable amount of time. And so with Privy, it just happens like that, and then it could also be automated, so you can have this stuff happen for you, like while you're at work, or while you're with the family, or while you're doing all cooking dinner. Like literally, deals could be being found and sent to you without having to do a ton of extra work.
Another aspect is I often don't go through that like buyer's process first. I'm in here first, and I'm not comping the property to its finality in any way, shape, or form. I'm calling that agent, but I can see all the comps here. So if I'm on the phone and they're like, yeah, ARV is about 560, and I don't, like, obviously it's not here, but let's say we were in the Midwest, ARV is 560, and I don't see a single sold property at 560. I'm already like, I already have enough knowledge to be able to go, what comp are you talking about? And I've had people message me back and go, I was just stretching the truth. Like, dead serious. I'm sorry. I didn't actually know. And I was like, yeah, well, because I know, and it's really 500. And let's look at this and see if your seller is going to know that too. But anytime you can partner with that agent to find that knowledge, it's all right in front of you here. So you can go back and forth and talk about it, even though I haven't comped it yet.
Right. So this one here I'm looking at, and it did flag it as a potential deal, but see how these comps are south of this subway line? So that's probably a different neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So these comps we may not be able to use. So what I did, you guys, I went in and I clicked the all activity checkbox here in the comp adjuster, and it did bring in some more data here. And there are some other properties here that say this could be a potential deal, but they're not all like one-to-one comps. So let's look at here, like 1.4. I mean, this one that went for 2.2 is way too big to be a true comparable.
A little old.
Yeah, so these ones here, the three that really say this is going to be a deal, it does cross over that. So this one, you'd have to probably get significantly lower than ask price for it to be a deal. So I'm not sure. Is this something you want to call on, or do you want to try to find something else?
I would say no, I don't want to call on it. And this is because of all the other like actives in the area. I think if you're between that train station and you're between the highway and train station, it's probably not as hot of a deal unless you can get it lower, closer to those 790s that I'm seeing in the area. So
Right.
I would check days on market to see if there's any like negotiation room to try to get that to 790. But if it were me, I'd probably now circle below that train area and see if there's any actives down there, because the investor property that you just brought up, that was a narrow margin. Like if you're willing to purchase at like, I think it was 1.5 million and they resold at 1.7. Okay, 1 million and they resold at 1.7. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I would just want to know what's active down there, which I can't see right now.
Yeah, there's not much active at all. See, everything here is sold. So the
What
actives
about
are
in like
all
Baldwin
above.
Hills, further outside of the box?
We can redraw the comp zone. So we'll adjust this here. So I clicked the drawing tool, you guys. So this allows us to adjust this comp zone. And it does, there's, quite a few here that are for sale.
Renee says it's a different neighborhood entirely. Ah!
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I thought about this Jefferson Boulevard, right? Like that and the subway line or the train, that's kind of like the delimiter there.
Hey, Benson, a lot of people in the chat are asking about training videos or detailed video instructions when they sign up for Privy.
Oh, we've got a ton of content, you guys, like probably way more than you can consume. But when you first sign up for Privy, we give you a welcome email. And in that welcome email, it sends you a link to our Learning Center. So, but the Learning Center is accessible over here on the left-hand side. If you click that, it shows the Learning Center, and it's all searchable and it's indexed. But we do send you a direct link to the how-to guides and videos. So there's a bunch of different videos in here, how to share a property, how to hide on hide, how to use the search filters. So we got lots of that. And then we do have live training too. So we got live training on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, and also on Thursdays at 1 p.m. And so you're able to join all of those training sessions.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's no shortage of support in that.
Yeah, let's get a listing and try to get an agent on the phone before we end here, guys.
Yeah. Well, here's this one. This is a lot more expensive. It's up in the hills.
My
This is the
gosh.
Pacific Palisades.
How are
Really
you?
good hiking up here.
Let's go ahead and call on the 900 one that you were just on. Let's see if we can get that agent, because I don't actually know Los Angeles, but maybe they can teach me and tell me a little bit. And
Yeah.
I'd rather
Okay.
let everybody get an agent phone call.
Will you pause the screen share, please?
Yep. Done.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing in the LA market, the MLS doesn't allow us to show the agent info here, not even their names. So in LA, there's one extra step. You have to Google the address, and then that will pull up like a listing on, like Redfin is typically what I'll look at. And then there you can see who the agent is. So this is Greg Cox is the agent on this for Remax.
Oh, sorry. Is that in the private chat?
And then I'll get you that phone number.
Oh, Renee said I can
Comments
get.
are fun. Like I could just hang out with y'all and answer stuff all day.
I know that. That's the thing. Like if you're doing a live, like when Corey Ann and I were doing it, and we were running Privy, and I was managing the chat, I was like, boom, 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 all over the place.
I'm glad people got value out of that, because it worked out the way that it did, and I'm glad that I got a lot of people messaging me saying that they enjoyed it or they took something away. So thank you to all of you. I like knowing you.
All right. So I think this is the right one. on, Greg. Are you working? There's two numbers here, and they're both the same. So I believe that's probably the office number, but that's the only one I'm seeing right now. But I'll keep digging here, and I'll give you this so you can out.
Renee, if you have it, text it to Corey Ann.
That's funny.
Oh, Sophia, you're in the LA area. That's amazing.
There you go. It's in the chat there for you.
Thank you.
$5413 Homeside Avenue.
Hi, this is Corey Ann. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Did I reach Greg?
You did.
Wonderful. Well, I am calling about a cool property of yours that I saw pulled up. And honestly, I just lost the tab and I cannot find the address. Oh, there it is. 5413 Homeside Ave.
Okay.
Is now a bad time to chat about it?
Sure.
Wonderful. Well, I'm taking a look right now. I'm just looking through the images and looking at the comps. I'm really liking this property, but will you give me the whole story on what's going on?
Well, what do you mean? It's available for sale?
Perfect.
I mean, I don't know what your.
Let me try another way. Let's say I picked this property up.
Just ask your questions.
Awesome. If I picked this property up and I got it fixed up where it was looking real nice for a nice family, what would you list it at in that case? Because I'm having a hard time with the comps.
You're probably looking at about a 1617.
Oh, all right. 1.6. I like that.
But you're putting a lot of money into it. You're taking it down to the studs. You're redoing the electrical. You're redoing everything. So I don't know the costs associated with that.
Yeah, my whole team is really versed on the costs associated with that. It's my job initially just to find after repair values that are going to back up that 1.6, 1.7.
So what vehicle are you using to check for comps?
So I'm on Zillow right now.
So if you want, what you can do is email me. I'll give you my email address.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll just remind me because I'm not going to be able to do it until probably Friday because I just left town for a couple of days.
Oh, nice.
And I can send you comps to show you what properties can go for or what they are going for completely fixed up and rehabbed.
Perfect. That's exactly what I need.
Okay. Yeah, I can absolutely do that because that was one of the things that we had entertained because this is a bank-owned property. We've actually owned it. They've actually owned it for over like a year, 14 months. It's taken us that long to get the tenants out.
Wow.
So depending on and then the other opportunity you can do is you can just take it down, keep one wall, and build three structures or two structures and have it be three separate addresses. I mean, have you driven the neighborhood yet?
I haven't driven the neighborhood. I do have a partner that's like right down the road though that could probably take a peek in that area.
Is it partner by real estate professional?
Yes. Is that a problem?
No.
Okay.
Good. Listen, then don't even utilize me for that. Your partner should be able to see everything that I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so you can rehab and fix that one, do it as a single family residence as a flip,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or you can tear it down to one wall, right? You don't want to take it all the way down. You want to keep that one wall for permit processes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, shoot, as your partner goes and looks at it, he can take a look at that property four lots down. Was what they've just done.
Oh, okay.
And if he goes up and down just even 3 of those streets, he'll see at least 15 of what I'm referring to. So there's absolutely an opportunity out there for the right.
And just so that I can start to get the numbers better, you say take down to the studs. So are we talking like all mechanicals, HVAC, everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You want 1.6 out of it, you got to make a new house.
Okay. And then what about the bank's wiggle room? Let's say I find out that this is going to be a $600,000 renovation building this new house. Is there any wiggle room to go below that $999?
I just won't know. It really
Okay.
all depends. We just put it on the market. It all depends on where we stand next week or the next 2 weeks.
Well, that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah, absolutely. Can I follow
Yeah,
up
I
with
mean-
you in a week if I
Alright.
end up with a lower number? Okay.
Absolutely, anytime. And you can
Wonderful.
submit any offer you'd like to submit. I'll present them all.
Perfect.
You know, so yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time this evening. I definitely want to have a few more conversations, but I want to take this back to my partner and just have a few chats. You've already given me plenty of info and just happy to start the convo.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
And if the real estate professional wants to call me and bounce stuff off too, I can share what because again, I did the due diligence multiple times for the bank. They just don't want to. They just want this asset off their hands. They want it off of their books. They understand that they can make money, but that's not how they make their money, right?
Yeah.
It's not how the credit union makes their money. So they just want to let it go.
That makes sense. Sounds like a long tenant situation if they had to put up with that for a whole year.
Oh yeah, multiple ones, sheriff eviction. But in the same respect, it really is an up and coming area. I do believe that we're fairly close on price, but I won't know that for another couple of weeks.
Okay, makes sense. Then I think we're going to be chatting over the next couple of weeks. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Great
That's
call.
some motivation. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I was panicking. Like, I don't know the address I'm calling about.
I
but
know.
that's-
I was looking at Benson's screen down here and it wasn't loading yet. So I was like, I can't say anything either. It's on the phone.
but you're just honest. Hey, I called you about an address I don't have in front of me right now.
That's it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Well, he
And it's
opened right up though. He
combo,
didn't take that hold it against you.
Yeah, he came in a little like stern at first, but that is where having those kinds of like real 1 second, or for example, I've been like, my dog is running towards the barrier, like I've got to call you back in 5 minutes. And normally when I call them back, they're already my friend. They're like, oh, what kind of dog? Is he okay? That kind of thing. So any mistake I make, I try to decide that is a reason they're going to love me in the future.
Awesome. Well, that was a great one. I'd be very interested to see what comps he's looking at there, because we looked at everything that was there. And I was hoping that you would ask him, like, are the comps like on the south side of Jefferson? Are they north of Jefferson in that same little niche? Because the data that we were seeing was all south of that Jefferson Street. But are you going to actually pursue this?
I will probably tell Renee to pursue this, or take it to a Los Angeles pro, just in general.
Yeah.
But worth pursuing, and that's definitely something. If I could tell that he was like willing to have that conversation with me, that I should have or could have done, is be like, where is this 1.6 you're talking about? But he seemed pretty confident it was 4 lots down. So if somebody is that confident with me on the phone in regards to that, I want to come back ready with my knowledge on numbers. So I will hang up, look at the numbers, and call back as soon as like 5 minutes and go, what are you talking about? I can't find it. Help. And just tell them what I'm seeing and get their vibe on whether they agree with me or not.
That was awesome. Well, all those calls were great. I mean, the voicemails were good. You guys, if you're not taking notes, like, make sure you go back and you rewatch these. They're going to be on Jamil's channel.
Yeah,
right?
They're going to be on the channel. And guys, honestly, just take action. Just make the calls. Just get on the phone. You know how to talk. I'm sure it's going to go better than you think. Everything is worse when you overthink it and you analyze. Like, just doing it is actually really easy. And with each call, you'll get better and better. Just like with that call, when the agent picked up, Corianne did not feel ready. Wasn't prepared. She's in a new market. She didn't have the listing, but she just ran with it, and she was just authentic, and she showed up, and she did it, and it turned out to be a really great call. So we're going to hop off here. I'll let you guys get going. Thank you for spending the hour with us, Corianne and Benson. I appreciate you guys. And also, guys, don't forget, Damn G5 is working hopefully until the 31st, but definitely take action, get your Privy account, start hitting those KPIs, start putting in offers, calling agents, calling buyers. You got this, guys. We'll see you here next week, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thanks. Bye.